Today I want to talk about Atlantis. It is a story that, as we all know, was told by Plato as being an island that was circular in nature and was kind of the center of the world, and that it's believed that if the stories that Plato told, that Atlantis was a very advanced and developed society. Now I realize that I'm just kind of saying something I'm repeating something, and I give all credits to Plato for his brilliance to bring to light this location that supposedly approximately 12,500 years ago existed someplace by the Pillars of Hercules, which I think are the rocks of Gibraltar. And of course, there's been many missions, excuse me while I locate my cards on the floor, but there's been many missions to try to understand where this is located. And there's been several really interesting discoveries that no matter what you think you know, we don't really know the history of our planet all that well. We know that for some reason we are able to find cities, the signatures of cities in the water, in the ocean, as if continents disintegrate at some point or time for reasons we have no idea about. And in addition to that, right now we are in a planetary placement, I believe. I believe what we're in is called the Photon Belt. And, we're starting to hear things about asteroids. Another word that you might hear being used for this is Nibiru. Did a planet get, something happen and a planet disintegrated, out there in the universe, and every 12,500 years, we journey through an area in our transit. I think that it's possible. And so, right now we are hearing about asteroids and different things. But my question is this: was Atlantis real? Was it really a place? And if it was, I have some further questions because I have some strong senses about Atlantis in my own energetic body. So I asked this question out of a desire to understand it myself. We are going to use the wild unknown. And where it starts out with is a Seven of Wands. That it was an embattled city that went through a metamorphosis that time maybe has forgotten, that we weren't prepared to remember this. But the information, as you can see with this wand in the center as a lit branch, the information is available. Yes, Atlantis was an island that was real. Okay? And in addition to that, it met with a catastrophic end. This is a completion card. It creatively came to a catastrophic halt. Yeah, interesting. And it was judgment. Judgment, interesting. So Atlantis existed, according to these cards, and in the past, an event took place that brought judgment to the people. And they were aware of this judgment. They were aware, and if you'll note, again, this is Wand's energy. There's a lot of Wand energy here. And wands represent fire. So I would suggest that perhaps they had volcanoes going off. They had some basic information that Atlantis was in many ways in trouble. And And so they understood that the snake was wrapped around the fire, and there was poison and fire both, and trouble. And very similar to where we're at today. Um, you know, this is why I think I'm attracted to this information, is I do feel that universally we repeat until we understand what it is we're trying to understand. And so what then happened to the island of Atlantis is it had to go into a balancing. It had to be remade. So in other words, it wasn't what it was previously. Something happened and it changed. It had to morph. And I think it's at the bottom of the sea. I think it morphed right to the bottom of the ocean. I have this sense of an earthquake, and I have a sense of so much earth activity that for those who could get away and who did get away, it was a very troubling thing, and that they suffer in this lifetime as a result of it. And those who did not get away, they have a different set of issues. And they are very troubled as well for a whole different set of issues. But right now, I am feeling a rising of the Atlantean priestess. And therefore, I do feel it is very important to discuss this card, that balancing, that metamorphosis. Now, this is a past position, but this is a Two of Pentacles, balancing the needs of the earth to transform something. And as a result of that need for balance at that time, and in relation to who we are today, there is a need to lovingly negotiate with each other, to exchange gifts of love to each other. And I do believe Atlantis was a society that was largely fair and loving to its citizens, and that injustice was something that just wasn't tolerable. And so for me today, at these times, at this level of pressure and disagreement, I'm finding it not tolerable in any way at all. What we then get is a Six of Wands. That again, that metamorphosis, that fiery exchange, that change that takes place in the heart of it. That yes, there are at this time people here on this planet that experience the loss and have transformed to provide for today, for some special skills in this way. And I think many of us who are psychics and clairvoyant readers, whatever, dreamers, in all forms and fashions, we are the modern day version of the priestess, which was very prevalent at that time, that everybody had that support. So in that sense, there was illumination. There was no one somebody in Atlantis that was above another. It was a system of equality and fairness. But they did make a terrible mistake. They made a decision. They wanted to connect to the stars. And it's my understanding that they attempted to open up an energy portal with not enough information. And it thus resulted in the destruction of something, which we are re-examining at this time, although we're unaware of that. We don't know why we're where we're at, but I'm here to tell you. This, a lot of people, this is our United States card too. This is in our hopes and fears position. And it's saying that there's hope, that there are people here that at this time that are specifically here for this time to provide that support that we so desperately need right now. So as a conclusion card, we have the Seven of Pentacles, that hard work that has been put in and how it's going to come out. now at this time. So, Spirit, please share with us, and I will switch over to my Rider-Waite deck. I would like to know, Spirit, how these Atlantean priestesses how will we recognize them? Um, what will we be seeing? And I think that there's a lot of light workers right now that are, we're feeling anxiety because we know we're being called. We need support. We need to come together. This is a time like no other, and it is our time to shine. And basically, we are going to ask about the Judgment card. This was the first one I had additional questions on. Why was there judgment? Well, they became complacent in some ways. They felt like they had a good thing going. Everything was working well for them. And so they were comfortable with what they were doing. But it led them to let themselves down all at the same time. Because if we're not moving, if we're not active, if we're not growing, our purpose might be not the same. Okay, so let's continue to ask, what was this judgment about? They had gotten some information about relationships. Interesting, because that is what our problem is at this time. We were faltering. We are faltering at this time, and perhaps at that time as well, they were faltering in their ability to communicate in a loving way with each other. They were immature in their process of love for each other. So, and make no mistake about it, the earth is a living being, and our interaction with the earth impacts the earth. And as a living being, our behavior, our divisiveness, our unhappiness makes the earth ill. And so again, did something happen? Well, according to the cards, they were told, you need to work on your love for each other. You need to work on your relationships. Or we're going to come in with this hot energy and we're going to start blowing things up. We're going to start putting some structure in there that you need to understand your ways. Do we repeat ourselves? Very, very much. Okay, so something came in and said, no, you are not going to take this path. So they maybe were on a path much like we are right now that was not going to work for them. It wasn't a good path. Now, individual priestesses and people, maybe that wasn't a problem, but something infiltrated the process, much like something has infiltrated our process now. And that infiltration, there it is. That's that infiltration where Wan's energy, where we're looking to afar we're hoping our ship will come in, and our ship isn't going to come in. There's no ship to come in. It is up to us to create an environment that's healthy, loving, and conducive to life. There's no ship coming in. No one's going to bring us a magic answer. The magic answer is within us. And this pressure we feel right now is to direct us towards the answer, which is self-love. And that judgment led to heartbreak. It led to the death of Atlantis. So Atlantis was very real, and it died. Now, Spirit, I want to know in our hopes and fears position about this star card. And I will move on to, I used my Rider-Waite deck for this part, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to use the Witch's Tarot for the star card. Tell me, Spirit, in our hopes and fears position, I have a star card. What is that to mean for Atlantis and how it relates to now? Okay, so much like how things were in Atlantis, they had a governmental system that decided how money was distributed, how resources were managed. So someone who, and in this case you can see he's wearing green, In this case, I do believe that they operated a good deal out of their heart chakra. I think that there was a lot of heart chakra type of energy there. And they had a system of giving and receiving money. Okay, and then as a result of this giving and receiving of money, something new came out of it. A new type of energy was born in the exchange of coin. Okay, and I don't think I have to have I'm just going to keep going, but I think that what that is referring to was that the coin created a reversal of fortunes. Now that is interesting. So in other words, money became an almost an evil force in the process of the Atlantean lives, much like money at this time is really a very dark force. So tell me more about this dark money that came into it and the destruction process. Spirit, tell me more about that. This money that came into it, it went bad because of money. Tell me more, Spirit, about why it went bad. It was slow and insidious. A Knight of Pentacles, a slow moving knight. It moved in, but it permeated their culture in some dark ways. And again, that Queen of Wands, it just plain led to volcanoes blowing up, things getting hot, things going off. So the question then becomes, Spirit, why is it that Atlantean energy, why is it so prevalent to me? Why do I see it so strongly tied to now? Because honestly, I have been feeling as if I need to be prepared for a tidal wave, and that something is going to happen. And something is going to cause a disaster of epic proportions. Now, is it a memory I'm experiencing? Possibly. I can buy that I have a memory that I've not really totally come to terms with. That maybe I was in an earthquake and a tidal wave that immediately was catastrophic. I don't know, but right now I want to know is what is happening to the United States, really all throughout the world. Is it a repeat of what happened to Atlantis? And so we will just go ahead and do a Celtic cross for this question. Is Atlantis a cautionary story that we in the United States and throughout the world need to now be aware of? Because, well, we are ourselves in this process of financial seriousness. Okay, we are in this process of how we give and receive coin has really gone dirty. We are about to lose, from my understanding of it, if this energy continues, our safety nets even, and people are going along with it like it's normal, and of course it's not. It's we are a society that has traditionally, we as humans have traditionally taken care of each other, because I'm a cell, you're a cell, we're all a cell, and if I don't take care of the cells next to me, I'm not going to be a healthy cell. So I think that that's part of my energy anyway, that I believe it's very important to be willing to be a part of the process of healing and look at if we have a problem to resolve it. Okay? And right now we have a problem, and I'm asking the cards, this Atlantean story, is it our story as well? Are we heading into a time where how we do business is very much about how the natural disaster goes? Okay, so it starts out the giving and receiving of cups. Now, cup energy is it's like alchemy. It's like mercury, right? We're mixing together in a three of cups the energies that we have. And this mixing, this joyful looking mixing, okay, is crossed by the emperor. So some kind of really harsh judgment is upon us right now. And will that lead to us having a natural disaster that will ultimately change how we function? You bet it will. You bet. That is what's coming. We're going to have a natural disaster, largely due to how we interact, due to our alchemical process with each other, that is going to lead to a disaster. Now, in the past position, we were pregnant with possibilities. We had many things, many directions we could go. We certainly did not have to go into a self-destructive mode as we have done. But it seems to be our nature to somehow get here and make a decision that's different than what we need to do. We were pregnant with ideas and possibilities, but somehow we lost our way. And here comes this Wands energy again. This something coming forward to tell us, look, you can't live like this. You can't be all hot and bothered and fiery energy, and burning everything down all the time. I mean, this warrior energy, this Mars fiery, drive it into battle kind of stuff is just, it's not good for the planet. It's not good for us as humans. And in the below position, look what we have. We have judgment. Are we heading in the direction of the Atlanteans? Yes, we are. The judgment is here. This is recent past. This means we've already bought the problem. We've already bought and paid for it. We signed our check. Okay, we're going to have judgment. We're going to have house cleaning, and well, this house cleaning is absolutely necessary because we have really been hard on the planet Earth. We've been hard on each other, and this is all avoidable through love. Love is all we needed. Love is what would change this on a dime. Okay, in our recent future, or our soon to be, we have an Ace of Pentacles. Is this about how we manage coin? Is it about how we care for the earth and those of the earth? Some new ideas are going to have to come forward because the old ones don't work. And much like Atlantis, self-destruction is on the table. And basically, when I say we're in the Photon Belt, and I get at the heart of the matter, the star card, never forget that we're basically a star, a planet, floating in a universe that has a cycle of its own that impacts us. And how we behave in this process, how we interact in the collective, which is the water below, matters. It impacts the stars or the planets around it. So in other words, if you want your planet to behave, then behave in the collective, because that is where the answers are, in the collective, the water, okay? And in the future, how we give and receive money, how we care for each other, it either improves and our situation improves and we change our timeline, or it doesn't. That is so entirely up to each and every person that what I know is that how we hand out coin, how we handle people, how we handle matters of importance like Black Lives Matter has to be fair. And if it's not fair, judgment is coming. Judgment is upon us right now. It's here. It's been here for a while. And it's up to us to be the adults, the parents, the awake ones, and help ourselves. In our hopes and fears position, notice the Nine of Swords. The hot air. We're looking to cut the tail off the end of the dragon. We're looking to let this hot air rest. We are looking to bring it to a stop because we're tired. We're ill. We're all struggling now. This isn't cute. This isn't funny. This isn't good. We're done. And we need a better answer. Did Atlantis come to that? It must have, as it's reflective. And for us, it's over. It's a wand energy. We can't continue it. This fiery, hot, nasty, untenable energy has to stop. So, is it reflective and directly reflective? Yes. Atlantis is a part of our story. And it is easy to forget this and to feel like that was a story from long ago and that would never happen to us. In fact, not only is it happening to us, but if we don't do something about it, our little happy family situation will be dead and gone. We will be extinct. So it's time for us to look at our behavior. And all of us know that it is really truly our job to love our neighbor as ourselves. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in my life quoting the Bible because it's a book. It's one book that was written in a period of time that met the needs of that time. It was a very wise book. It was a very interesting book. But it isn't the only book written, and it isn't the only book I follow. And with that, I'd like you to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And please do join me on twiggy.com, twiggie.com, where I am able to provide a full range of astrology readings and services, astrology therapy. And if you would like to get involved in that and see what I offer, please do go check out my website. Again, www.twiggy.com. And I thank you for joining me here today.